bodies of the jumpsuits I talk about. I said the upper bodies of the jumpsuits is a corset. So today we'll be drafting a corset. So the first thing we need is our scissors, a tape rule, a fabric, and a ruler for accurate ruling. Then for our measurements, we're using our bust is bust 34, our waist is waist 26, our shoulder is 15 inches, and nipple to nipple is 7 inches. So the first thing we'll measure our bust point. The bust point is, from my shoulder to my bust is 10 inches. We'll mark 10 inches. Shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. So this is how we roll it and make a straight line. 10 inches, then 16 inches. I'll take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 15, which is 7.5 plus half-inch allowance, which is 8. So this is 8. Mark 8 inches. Then my armhole is 8 inches, which is of 8 inches. So I'll make sure I roll this is also known as your chest line. So the next thing I will do is I will take my nipple to nipple. Like I said earlier, my nipple to nipple is 7 inches divided by 2, which is 3.5, plus 0.5. This is 4. I will the next thing I'll do now is I'll take my bust circumference. So I'm having 4 inches here. So next thing I'll do now is I'll take 4 inches round. So I don't have a protractor, but if you have a protractor, please kindly make use of it. Next thing I'll do is I'll blend it. The next thing I'll do is I'll connect those lines together. Please kindly take your time. So the protractor would have been nice, but since I don't have, so just connect. Take your time to connect this. Take your time. So now this is my circle. This is my circle. So the next thing I'll do is for my other bust, I'll take in my darts. So I'll take in 1 inch on both sides. 1 inch on both sides. Taking 1 inch on both sides. I'll come to my bust point 2. I'll go down by 0.5 and I'll go up by 0.5. Then I connect these lines. But before doing that, I'll look for my under bust. Please take your time, don't be in. Kindly take your time. So now this will be my under bust. Shoulder to my bust is 10 inches. Shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. Then my shoulder is 7.5 plus 0.5, which is 8 inches. Then the next thing I'll do is measure from the distance between nipple to nipple point, which is 7 inches divided by 2, 3.5 plus 0.5 inch, which is 4 inch. Then I roll. After that, this 4 inches, I measured it round. So This is it. If you have a protractor, you can do it, but I don't have a protractor, so that is the reason I'm using my free hand. Please take your time to do this. Take your time to do this. Don't be in a haste. So, having done that, what I have left, I have 2 inches left, which is will now be my under bust. So this is my under bust, this is my bust point, this is my under bust, and this is my waist. So the next thing I'll do is, if you want to add maybe if you want to add a net or anything up, you want to use the up from that design, you can make use of it. So I measure my armhole, which is 8 inches. So I roll it. And I extend it. And the next thing I do is I take my neckline. So my neckline, can you make use of it anyhow you want. You can make it wide, you can make it low with your choice, but I use my 3.5 inches by 3.5 inches. Three and a half inches by 3.5. So 3.5 inches by 3.5. Then so this is my neckline. The next thing I do is I take my shoulder slope by 1 inch. So this is my shoulder slope. Then I extend this my 4. For my waistline, I went in by 1 inch, 1 inch on both sides, 1 inch on both sides. I did the same thing to the under bust, 1 inch on both sides. Then for my bust points, I came down by 0.5 and I went up by 0.5 inch. Then I connect all the lines together. So the next thing I do, I extend my 4 inches upward to those under this bust point. Okay. And the next thing I do, I took in 1 inch on both sides too. 1 inch, 1 inch. Then I connect it to the side. So you can see it's already taking shape. Our corset is already taking shape. So after taking your 1 inch on both sides, taking your shoulder slope, your neckline, the next thing you do is you take in your random body shape. So my bust is 34. 34 divided by 2 is 8.5. 8.5 plus 2 inches. This 2 inches, which is 10.5. So this is 10.5. My waist is 26 divided by 2 is divided by 4 is 6.5. 6.5 plus 2 inches, 8.5. So this is 8.5. And I connect. So next thing, you take in your this armhole area, you find the main point, which is 4 inch, then go in by 0.5, is 0.5, then you connect. So having done this, the next thing you do is now time to draft our corset. So at this bust area, at your bust area, you go in by 1 inch, you go upward, sorry, by 1 inch, and you go in by ½ inch. Now at this area, if you want it, you know those corset, there are some kind of corset you make that it's at the middle part is bold and while some is tiny. So this part depends on you. You can decide to make yours 1 inch, it's your choice. You can decide to make yours ½ inch, it's your choice, depending on how prominent you want that part to be. So for me, I'm going in by ½ inch. So while on this side now, this upper side, you can decide to make it you can try to make use of it like this. It's your choice. But if you don't want to make use of it like this, you can decide to come down by 1 inch or ½ inch. Well, I'm coming down by 1 inch. Then the next thing you do is, so guys, the reason you can, if you notice, you can see that I am having paper tape on my pattern paper. The reason there is that so that you can see where I am marking. That is the reason the paper tape is on top of my pattern. You can see, so that you can see where I am marking. So after taking in 1 inch, go upward. After going up by 1 inch and going in by ½ inch, make sure we connect this 1 inch that we have here, connect it to this side and connect it to the armhole. So please, if you don't have curve ruler, I kindly advise you to make use of your hand. Then connect this to the armhole. Then after that, we'll connect this to the underbust. So and also connect this to the underbust. Please take your time to set this. If you are making use of your hand, also take your time. So this is it. So let's go over to what we did. The first thing we did was measure our shoulder to our bust point. Then from our bust point, from our shoulder to our waist. Then we took in our bust span, which is our nipple to nipple point, divided by 2 plus 0.5. This is it. You roll it down. At your waist area, you go in by 1 inch on both sides. Your underbust, you go in by 1 inch on both sides. At your neck area, we went in by 3.5 by 3.5. Then we took in our shoulder slope of 1 inch. Our curve, we went in by 0.5, then we curve in. Now taking our bust measurement, which is 34 divided by 4 plus 2 inches. Those 2 inches. Same thing with our waist. So this is our this is our measurement. So this is our cup. This is our cup. So The next thing we'll do is we'll extend this line to cut the back. After extending my lines, this is my bust chest line, this is my bust point, this is my under bust, and this is my waist. So took in 1 inch for my zipper allowance. This is 1 inch. Then from that 1 inch, I measure my bust span, which is 3.5. This side, I will not add 0.5 inches. I will just make it 3.5. So I'll roll it down 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches all the way. So then I make a straight line. The next thing I do is at my waist area, I go in by 1 inch. I go in by ½ inch, sorry, on both sides. Then at my chest area, as my bust point, I go in by 1 inch and I connect. Guys, sorry, I made mistake in this my pattern. If you are drafting your back, you don't need your under bust. Please, you don't need your under bust. So after that, I put my measurements. So for my chest line is 10.5, while my under bust, my waistline is 6 inches, 6.5 inches plus 1, that is 7.5 inches. So then I connect. So now this back, you can decide to make use of yoke at the back. It's your choice. If you don't want to make use of yoke, it's your choice. If you want to make use of yoke, it's your choice. But this back, I'm not making use of yoke. So at this here, I'll come down by 1 inch, no, 0.5, and I connect. So you can decide to make use of your neckline anyhow. I try to come down. So this is this is how my back will be. Then I'll cut. From my shoulder to my bust line is 10 inches. This is my bust point. Shoulder to my waist is 16 inches. This is my waist. This is my neckline, 3.5 by 3.54. From here to here is 8 inches. 8 inches. From here to here is 0.5. You go in by 0.5, then you connect. You come down by 1 inch for your shoulder slope. Now, from here to here, to this line, to this straight line, it's your nipple to nipple point, nipple to nipple, divided by 2 plus 0.5. This is it. Then after that, you go in your waist by 1 inch on both sides, your under bust 1 inch on both sides. You come down by 0.5 and you go up by 0.5. You connect the lines. After that, at this upper part, you go in by 1 inch on both sides, and you connect it to the 0.5. Then after that, what you do is at this point, at your center front, you go in by 0.5 from here to here, 0.5, and you come up by 1 inch. This is it. Then you connect. You also go in by 1 inch here. You can decide to make use of this like this. It's your choice. Or if you don't want to make use of it, you go in by 1 inch, then you connect this line and you connect it to your armhole. You also connect this from here to your under bust, and this is how it is. So this is basically how the front pattern is. This is how the front pattern is. For the back too, you are not supposed to take your underbust. Sorry, this was a mistake. Your underbust is not supposed to be there. All you just need is your chest line, your bust line, and your waist line. So from here, this is 1 inch for zipper allowance. Here to here is 3.5. Take half inch on both sides. Go in by 1 inch. You extend your lines. Then take in your body measurement. After that, you can decide to have a low back. It's your choice. You can decide to leave it like this. It's your choice. It's all depend on you. If you want it to come lower than this, it's still your choice. So you can just play with the back pattern anyhow you want. So guys, this is basically how it is. I put in the paper tape so that you can see what I am trying to cut out. This is the shape I am trying to get. So this is it. This is the front. So this is the front bodice. So guys, this is it. This is the pattern. So this is it. You can decide to make use of this yoke. Use this as yoke. It's your choice. You can decide to make use of this as underbust, corset. It's your choice. Please and please don't forget to label. Don't forget to label. So this will label as yoke. This will label as center front. This is center front. This is side front. This is 1. This is 2. Now you can decide to leave it like this. Just sewing this. And if you want to make a 3-piece, all you just need to do is to join this together. If you want to make a 3-piece, just join this together like this. So then you can decide to measure 2 inches. You can decide to measure any of your choice. It depends on how you want it to be. So, but I'm going to be measuring. So you can decide to measure 2 inches, 3 inches. So, well, I'll measure 2.5. 2.5 inch round. Now, if you don't want to make it this big, you can decide to make it of 1 inch. 1.5. Just play with it. Just play with it. Just play with it, and after that I'll connect the lines. So this side will be like this. So this will be cut like this. This will be 1 delivered, 2. So this is this for it. So you make sure and we'll cut this out. So it's now time to cut the back. So this is our back. This is our center back. And this is our side back. So this is our piece for the back. This is our back piece. This is the side back and the center back. This is also our front piece. This is the corset. This is a 3-piece corset. This is the yoke, and this are the side. So this is the front. So having done this, we'll place this on our fabric and we'll cut. Please and please make sure when cutting on your fabric, this part that requires joining, this yoke, we are not going to make use of the yoke. I'm not making use of this yoke. This is what's making use of. But if you want to use the yoke, please, this is what you make use of. You make sure you add half-inch allowance on this side, half-inch allowance, half-inch allowance, half-inch allowance on all the sides for joining, so that you will not have shortage of material. Same thing to the back. So after placing this on our fabric and cutting it, please, you need to add your interface to your fabric to give it a nice shape. So this is our front and the back. So this is the fabric. This is the pattern I'm having on top of it. As you can see, I've added iron interface into the fabric. Now I'm having 4 fabric here. It's the same fabric I'm going to use as the lining. The fabric I use is the same fabric I'm going to use as the lining. So and you can also see there's allowance at each side. Now this is 1 inch allowance at each side. So 1 inch allowance at each side. Same thing with the cup, 1 inch allowance. So this is the pattern. This is how it will be sewn. Then this will be sewn on it before attaching it to the center front. Before attaching it, so we'll join this together. We'll join this together. We'll join this on top of it. Then we attach it to this place. Same thing to the back. As you can see, the back, I'm not having allowance at the side. I'm only having at the down and at the upper part. The reason is because there's already allowance at the pattern paper. So that's why there's no allowance at the sides, just only the down and the up. This is also the back. So I'm also having 4 fabric. I'll use the same fabric as the lining. After joining all those, I'm going to make use of boning. So this is my boning. This is what I'll use. I'll make use of it. I'll make use of the boning. So I will attach the boning to this side. Then I'll attach the boning also to the joining. This is my center front. I opened it, so I'm going to join the center front. I'll join it here, then attach the boning at the middle. Also join the side before I attach the cup. So this is what I'm going to to give the fabric nice structure. And also at this point, you can also add your cup. This is the ready-made cup. You can also add it. That is after you joined this. After you've joined this three, after you've joined them, you can add this at the middle. So it all depends on you. And if you don't want to, you can cut wording for it. You can make use of your wording for it. If you don't want to, you can make use of your wording. All you just need to do is you cut your wording according to how you cut your pattern. That is what you just need to do. Make sure your wording is cut according to your pattern. You cut according to your pattern, then you attach it. Now, if you don't want to make use of wording, you can make use of your ready-made cup. Your ready-made cup. So this ready-made cup, after you've joined these three parts together, you've joined it, then you add it, and you sew it round here. Sew it round then before attaching it to the side. So this is how it will be. Attach it. Or if you don't want to, please make use of your wording. If the cup is too small for you, kindly make use of your wording. I think your wording will be better. So that is all for it. So this is it. So this is the front bodice. I've joined the sides, the center, and also the side. So this is the fabric. This also serves as a lining, and you can see its interface. And also, most importantly, is ironed. You can see it's laying flat. It's laying flat. Even the lining is also laying flat. It's properly ironed. So this is the cup that will be attached to the side. So you can see the center is joined, the upper part is joined. This is it. This is it, and it's properly ironed. So same thing, the other side, joined, and properly ironed. So I'm having 4 pieces. Which one will serve as the main fabric, and the other one will serve as the lining. So this is the back. So you can see it's joined, center, front, and the side. Center, back, and the side back is joined together, and it's properly ironed. I'm having 4 pieces here. One will serve as the lining, and the other will serve as the main fabric. So in the front, I want to put in some designs. So I'll be making use of bias tape. So the bias will be here, and also here, and here, and also those side will be encased with boning. To be encased with boning, so as to give it structure and fitting. So I will do that for the front and for the back too. So this is the joining, and I also do that for the cup. I will add the bias at the joining, and also yeah. So you can see it's supposed to be joined here first before sewing it in. So do the correction, and after that, then I'll put in my cup. Put in my cup. Then I'll sew. To make sure I set it very well, set it properly before I sew it. I have to pin it down. So like I said earlier, if you don't want to make use of cup, please make sure you cut your wording according to your pattern. Then you attach your wording to it, then you sew. If you don't want to do that, you sew your fabric, then you sew your wording separately. Then after joining it together, you put your wording. Your wording will serve as cup for you. So, but if you don't want to go through that stress, before you join, you attach your wording separately to it, then you join. So this is it. I will show you when I've joined it.